so much better. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
my
it's
story in a
supposed to
nutshell.
be.
Awesome.
Hey, Susan, if you can make me co-host, I would love to mute the lines and help
Perfect,
you
Barb.
out.
Let me make sure I am even co-host. That'll be awesome. Let me see if I can do it. Barb, perfect. I do not have that ability. Todd's gonna have to let me do that, Barb.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It should be on in just a couple minutes. All right, Barb, you want to tell your testimony real quick? We'll get started here in a couple of minutes.
Hey, Barb,
I love to hear testimonies and how these drops have really changed people's life, because that's really what it's about, like a life-changing product. So Barb, what's your story? Hey, Randy. Hey, Barb.
Good evening.
Good evening. Well, in April, Randy and I had made a decision to change our health, and we were exploring. And I actually was desperate, and I got a shot in the end of April, and my body really didn't like the shot. It was semaglutide, and I had inflammation in the pancreas, chronic fatigue for about a week, and then I was going to have another shot. And I just said, God, what do you have? What do you have available? Because I was a little nervous about getting another shot. Sure. And so my girlfriend called me. I haven't talked to her in 10 months. And she says, Barb, how you doing? And the rest was history, actually, because I knew it was a God thing. She was homeopathic practitioner. I was introduced to these drops in May, and mid-May, actually, got these drops into my body and my life. I'm aging backwards. My chronic inflammation of 30 years is gone. I mean, it's just like, I'm so excited about this. I dropped 30 pounds total already. And I mean, I was doing everything, yo-yo dieting, just going through menopause, miserable. And Randy's doing so much better. Randy, share a little bit about your.
Absolutely. Yeah. We both got into this full-fledged, stuck to the diet plan 100%, gave up drinking, gave up dairy. I mean, no more joint inflammation whatsoever. I was getting ready to have knee replacement surgery this winter. I was planning on it, had doctor lined up. I can run again. Seriously. I don't need surgery. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. My shoulder pain's gone, my hip pain's gone, my knee pain's gone. I can run up and down the stairs with 50-pound weights in my hand. So I'm just blown away by the results of it. Lost 28 pounds altogether, more energy. The sleep is phenomenal. That's one of the best things. I have never been a great sleeper for my whole life. I'm 67. I feel like I'm 35 again. Seriously.
I love that. Oh, that makes it. And I remember you guys getting started. I'll mute the lines out now. Do we have Todd? Todd, do we have you yet?
Oh yeah, I'm with you, Susan. I've been listening the whole time. I was able to get my camera turned on.
Perfect. Thanks, Todd, for joining us. For you guys who are here, if you're interested in the drops, this is the guy that you want to talk to. If you're interested in creating a side income, sharing products that are really going to get your friends and family really healthy, Todd is the guy. He is the master of sharing all of the good things with this company. So thanks, Todd, for being here.
Yeah, and the testimonials I just heard were just so amazing, and it's really why we exist. And I just wanted to go back through a couple of them that I heard. The first lady began with her type 1 diabetic daughter. And for those that don't understand the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes, we have really elevated blood sugar. We have a real pancreas problem. Insulin is not working the way it's supposed to. And it's one of the most serious issues in the country today. It's actually very serious long before they call you a pre-diabetic, when they're just what they call insulin sensitive. But type 1 is very different. Type 1 is generally, you acquire that, generally speaking, when you're younger. It's some genetic. There's not a whole lot of consensus on what causes it. Some think dairy do, some think other things. But nonetheless, type 1, the pancreas is dead. So where our drops come into play, if a person is a type 2 diabetic, between some of the ingredients in the drops that help stabilize blood sugar, and more importantly, the approved food list, which was written by the top 2 diabetic doctor in the world, decades ago. Just Google it, low glycemic food index. That's what we follow. And that is what everybody that is a type 2 diabetic should be following, and everybody that doesn't want to be one should be doing. So with a type 2, we can actually really get that person on track, that hopefully their doctor will be able to take them off all medication. And a lot of the what us nutritionists call the lifestyle diseases, that being the diseases we self-inflict, like high blood pressure, bad cholesterol, high triglycerides, they generally all follow, not always, but at a plus 90 percentile, they're going to follow elevated blood sugar. So if I have elevated blood sugar for a long period of time, those things will start being told I have by the doctor. They're slow to come on, and they're also slow to decrease. If I can stabilize blood sugar 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, I was just with some people last night, you're about to see their picture, that their doctors have taken them off all their triglyceride medication, their high cholesterol, bad cholesterol medication, and their blood pressure medication. But with a type 1 diabetic, we cannot get them well. Like, they're not fixable, but we can help them stabilize blood sugar, is indicated there with her daughter's doctor already having to kind of lower the amount of insulin that she's giving herself every day. Type 1 diabetics wear an insulin pump, so that we see that all the time. I have got hundreds that have the exact same story, that their life will become more manageable. It's a very dangerous thing for a type 1 diabetic their whole life, because they have to manage that very well, or to cause problems with organs and all kinds of things. Same with type 2 diabetics, but type 2 diabetics have way more control over it. So anyway, that being said, and then the second one was someone who had drank for a period of time and stopped drinking. Generally speaking, when you do that, you've created a fatty liver before you quit. You've got some other things in the body, that probably a high degree of insulin sensitivity going on, because alcohol is sugar. And when I drink it every day, it starts creating problems with my pancreas. And so when I stop drinking, the body can begin to heal and get better, but it's not going to be overnight. You don't get sick overnight. You don't get well overnight. When these drops get added in to the arsenal, and you switch to the approved food list, you get everything on your body's side, because these drops are really magical at balancing different organs, the thyroid, the pancreas, the insulin secretion, and a number of other things going on there. So I hear that again all the time. And some people that struggle to quit drinking find that when they get on the drops, they don't have the same desires for alcohol as they did. I've seen that over and over and over. And then the third one there with Barb and her husband, I mean, when you get on these drops and as he said, go 100% in, everybody's going to go 100% in. But if you go 100% on the approved food list, which is the food that God made for us, not the ones that man has now made for us and put in a box and try to lie to you on the front of it, tell you how good it is for you. The more man touches it, the worse it is for you. That's the golden rule. You can live with it the rest of your life. It'll never lie to you. When you eat things that grow in the garden and the animals that eat the things that grow in the fields, you're going to have a much more healthy body. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. So Susan, do you want me to kind of run through a quick overview of the skinny drops and how the business model works?
It was during the administration of Kamala.
Yes.
So Governor Walz can
Would be- I'm sorry. That would be great, Todd. We've got a lot of people here who's interested in the business. We've got quite a bit of men on here as well. And yeah, just kind of tell them the deal and how to get started.
Okay. So with men, there's some specific products that, let me just switch to PowerPoint, since I know we've got a bunch of men on here too. Take me 2 seconds. Let me make sure this is it. I want to go back to this one. I'm going to do the short one, and then I will just go back and hit a couple of products that men may want to incorporate into their life. But here's the 8-minute kind of overview. From a business standpoint, you pay $30 one time, and you have a home-based business that you can run from your phone. I'm running it from my iPad right now on an Airbnb in Charleston, South Carolina. Just came into it on 2 wheels to get on this Zoom right here. My son coaches football here in this town, so just came to see him today. But so the business is always running. When you pay that $30, and if you're a business guy, this is the part you just kind of have to take at face value until you figure it out. But when you pay that $30, you have the potential for a multi-million-dollar business. Most businesses require so much upfront capital to expect a large return. I mean, developers borrow millions to go build subdivisions. Home builders build hundreds of thousands, if not a million or two, to build spec houses and different things to turn, their profit. Here's $30, and the financial capital isn't money. It's you, it's time, it's emotional capital, because this business model allows you to build a global business into 58 countries. And this company is going to put you in the center of one of the fastest growing markets in the world, and that's the nutrition health world. It is growing rapidly, not just in the United States, but in every country. It's expanding faster than any other industry right now. People are becoming more and more aware that the healthcare system isn't really helping us from getting sick. They're treating us after we get there, but we don't want to get there. Like an ounce of prevention is better than 10,000 gallons of cure once you get diagnosed with something you don't want to be diagnosed with. So we're in the middle, our company, Partner.co, of 100 different products that are all unique. They all make serious differences in the body, and they're applicable to different things, from balancing hormones to weight loss to improving energy, athletic performance and recovery. We have energy drinks, we have collagen, things to improve your gut health, sleep, and obviously lose weight. The key thing with every product that Partner Co puts out, they're all doctor created. They're all backed by science. There's now 215 published papers out there on our products. And because of all the doctors and all the science and all the third-party research, we now have about a half dozen of those products in the physician desk reference. Our top doctor, he is a leading authority in the world on what's called metabolic syndrome, and that's elevated blood sugar before we call it prediabetes. And that is the thing that's plaguing our world right now. 70% of this country is walking around that's above 30 years old with insulin sensitivity right now. And if you have that, you are at a greatly elevated risk of cardiovascular events or cancer or things you don't want to be told you have. You want to get that stabilized, do your own research on it. So this first and only product that's in this presentation, the Body Balance and Drops for both men and women, address that. It's a homeopathic formula. Bottle one is 11 different homeopathic ingredients. Some help the thyroid come into balance, especially those women with low thyroids or Hashimoto's. We do a really good job with that with these drops. It's a slow move. You're not going to get that thyroid fixed in 2 days. It's going to take a minute, but you'll start noticing the thyroid is the controller of metabolism, energy, mood, sleep. All of those things will start improving. It's going to work on helping to stabilize blood sugar, give you appetite control, hormonal support. We get some just crazy stories of the hormonal support it gives women. I would say 40% of our customer base usually drops, not for weight loss, but for the way it makes them feel. The second bottle has got the good form of B12, the methylated form, ashwagandha, and a number of other ingredients that really work on mood, metabolism, energy. And then the key ingredient in the red bottle is called rhodiola, which limits cortisol secretion, which is a stress hormone that makes us want to gain weight. And you heard us mentioning, if you're new, that we have an approved food list that accompanies this. We eat when we're hungry. We just eat from the list. This is the low glycemic food index. If you've ever done the keto diet, if you've ever done paleo, if you've ever done whole foods, it's all the same foods. They're just all branded slightly different. We don't brand anything. We eat the same foods that are in the keto diet. We don't test on strips. We're not trying to stay under 25 grams of sugar a day or simple carbs. You probably can reach up to 50 and still lose weight. You don't have to stay in a ketogenic state all the time, but it's not detrimental if you do. You'll lose weight faster if you do, if you want to be that strict. This is what's called the low glycemic food index. Eat when hungry. And the great thing about it is, if you do like to cook, we have got a number of cookbooks now, probably about a dozen floating around there that you can have brownies, cookies, you name it. You just got to use the ingredients that are in the cookbooks. So these are some of our women. I was just on a Zoom with these girls earlier. All three of these girls are out of the West Tennessee market. The girl on the left has owned a CrossFit gym for 20 years. She was the #1 CrossFit girl in Tennessee for a long time. The two on the right were both very high-end nurses. They both had past nursing degrees. And they work for a big gastroenterologist there. They all three now make full-time incomes with us, and they all three are not on the drops for weight, as you can tell. They're all on it because they were postpartum mamas that had serious hormonal imbalances and were moody and didn't feel good. And it's funny, the girl on the left there, her joke always when she gives the presentation is that when she stops taking the drops, her husband knows and says, honey, have you missed your drops this week? And then you'll just see as I flip through this, different ages. The way I was just with Terry, she's in Nashville. I was just with them over the weekend at some meetings. And I just heard her say she tried 15 different things before she finally found the skinny drop, something that actually not only got the weight off, but she's actually now kept it off for a couple of years. Randy actually lost 100 pounds in 90 days from the day he started the drops. He just hit 167 in 7 months. You can see Chris there. He's a big home builder in Tennessee. Chris actually reached out to me because he had Lyme's disease. However, once I told him about the financial opportunity, he's now on a course to quit building houses very quickly. You know, building houses can be profitable, but it's stupid stressful. You need home builders on here to know that. You've got a lot of money leveraged at the bank, and you're depending on, you know, interest rates and homeowner and mortgages getting closed. There's a million things that can go wrong in the world, and you know, all of a sudden they eaten up all their profitability paying interest on the loans they had trying to get things done. So it's not that it's not a great occupation, it's a stressful occupation. And this is something that you can do to build in that security around it. Ernest is using this to build his second retirement. He's a retired lieutenant colonel out of the Army, but you know, that's enough to pay the bills, but it's not enough to live life on your own terms. So he makes probably about $1,000 a week with us. He's like any other person. He wanted to know if it worked for him, but after losing 42 pounds in 8 weeks on the products, he's off for the races. Just met this lady yesterday in Nashville, 40 pounds down in her first month, which is a lot, but she started, you know, bigger. And you'll just see different body types. This girl's in Charlotte, North Carolina. She's full-time with us. She makes several thousand per week. This is the gentleman that I was with last night in Nashville. Wish I had him here, but his story last night, his wife is a pharmacist. She's now left the pharmacy to do this full-time. Ken runs a CBD shop in a small West Tennessee town, but he's looking to shut that down and do this full-time. And what happened for them is Ken was on high blood pressure medication. He was on cholesterol medication. He was on stuff for his high triglycerides. He had pre-diabetes. They had diagnosed him with full-blown type 2 diabetes yet. Started our program, went all in, as you heard Barb's husband say just a second ago. And about 6 weeks in, he started, no, I think this was actually 4 weeks in is what he said last night. He started feeling lightheaded. And just like every other non-nutrition person, they start taking nutrition and they want to blame the nutrition for their problems. So he did. He thought it was the drops. Thank goodness his wife was a pharmacist and told him, no, honey, if you're feeling lightheaded and you're on a lot of blood pressure medication, we're probably pulling your blood pressure down too low. Have you checked it lately? They checked it and it was crazy low. So she's a pharmacist. Don't do this on your own. Talk to your doctors. So she cut him in half that day, scheduled the appointment for the doctor the next week. And when he got to the doctor, not only did the doctor take him off blood pressure medication, but they did his blood work. 5 days later, the doctor called back, took him off of all the medication, the cholesterol medication, the triglyceride medication across the board, drug-free, and you can see what he looks like there. So it's just an incredible product. By the way, Stephanie, 3 months in, was doubling what she made as a school teacher here in Florida where I live at. And I was able to quit her job, and that was a year ago. This couple made about $250,000 last year. Hey, by the way, for those men here, Reese is the CEO of the largest shrimp company in Florida and was very anti his wife doing the skinny drops. But two things happened. Number one, he got in the doghouse and agreed to take the drops to prove they didn't work and lost 14 pounds in 2 weeks without changing his diet. He's actually down about 90 pounds now. I got to update his slide. But the big thing that happened is about 2 months in, Ashley had made $20,000 in her Venmo account that he didn't know about, and she showed him. And that's when he said, hey, can you get this Todd and Ashley people to come over here and show me what's really going on? And once he understood the pay plan, he has been off for the races ever since. Their paycheck last Friday was about $4,000 for the week. And they're still full-time. He's 60 hours a week at the shrimp company, and she's still a nurse at the hospital with 5 kids. There's Susan Frank, who works with y'all all the time. That's actually at my old house in North Carolina when she bought her tour bus with network marketing money for her husband. So anyway, as we end this up, it's very, very simple. You can buy these skinny drops. They retail at $176. You just get them from whoever got you to get here. Or you can get into business and you can do it a little bit or a lot. Most people start with a little bit and kind of grow into it. So you pay $29.95 one time, that's your business. From that point forward, you've got a couple of choices. You can get the basic 4-pack and you can sell 3. And when you sell 3 at $167, you're going to make more than enough money for your box to be free and get all your money back. You can start with a 10-pack. I've got 180 there because I was showing this for a girl in California, actually on y'all's team. She may be here tonight, Amber. But if you sell at 180 like she does, you're going to make 920 return on investment. That's your profitability after selling 10. But most people now are coming in at top pay with our 30-pack. It's just the smart thing to do if you have any business desire at all. If you sell at 180, you're going to turn a $2,760 profit. If you sell at 167, back about $400 off that. So you make about $2,460 selling at 167. I would never sell any lower than that. 176 again is retail plus shipping and tax. You're giving your customers a great discount there. But you move those 30, you've already turned your first profitability. And then from there, and by the way, people always ask how you do it. And if you're a man and you don't want to do boards that I'm going to show you here, you don't have to. Just tell people, bring them to a Zoom, show them the business model. But we know, and I am a man and a football coach at that. So like posting skinny drops on social media is really not what I grew up to do. But when somebody says you can make $1 million doing something, I'm open to listen. And that's what we're seeing happen with the skinny drop system. Sometimes being in the cool group, it can make you a lot of money, but sometimes you're just in the cool group staying broke to be there. Sometimes you got to get in the group that people are making fun of to get really ahead. I always say that people that get rich never do what everybody else does. They're always swimming upstream. And that's what you got a chance to do here. So you're going to download boards. We're going to upload the system. I know y'all got your own boards built for your team. They'll upload that onto your phone. We're going to give you your post. And if you'll just simply follow the system they'll teach you, it just works for everybody. Drops are going to start selling like no tomorrow. You just post. The boards helps you answer all the questions. These are my favorite kind of stories. Talia is that nurse I showed you on the very first slide that's left. That's a stay-at-home mama now with her kids. But when she left her nursing job, she left a $45 an hour job. So she was always used to, number one, having her own money, but number two, also contributing to the house. And all of a sudden, she's a stay-at-home mom because she quit her job before this business found her when she had her second child. And she really only started here because her hormones were so out of balance. But once her hormones lined out, not only for her feeling better, but the blood work, the progesterone and estrogen elevated like it was like a low mid-20s. And it went all the way back into the 70s once she got on the skinny drops. And she was doing the pellets along with it in the beginning, no longer. But she began to sell skinny drops. Then she began to build a team. And she's now making in the neighborhood of $1,000 to $1,500 a week, which if you do the math on $45 an hour times 40, she's now back in the income that she used to have to trade her life for, except she does it in a few hours a day. And like her big story is, she can do her nails again. She can do her toes again. She can get her face done. And she don't have to ask her husband for no money. It's all hers again. And now this was her daughter's birthday. And she said, we kind of overdid it, but spent about $1,500 between the party and presents. But she said it was just fun money. It wouldn't come out of her account. And to get into the retirement money, then you build a team of people selling skinny drops or other products that we have. That's just the business model. And as that team begins to grow out around the world globally, how do you grow the team out? They pay $29.95, order a 30-pack, start selling, and find other people pay $29.95 and start selling. And you now start getting these small override commissions. Everything that creates wealth requires leverage. You're either leveraging money into real estate, the stock market, or you're a big business owner leveraging people. This is what we have, except in the big business owner world, everybody's an employee. So there's only the owner and a few top VPs making the serious money. Everybody else just trading their life for an income. Here, we're all on the same playing field. The second we join, we are the top of our own business. So if you want to be on the top of 2 people selling, go find you 2 people and don't teach them how to do anything. That's what you'll be. But if you want to be on the top of 10,000 people selling skinny drops, then go recruit a few hundred people and pour into their life and teach them and help them become successful, help them come out of the valleys when they have a bad day. And all of a sudden they could get way better at it than you are. Just like Susan Frank became way better than me, and now Susan Cameron is better than Susan Frank. It's just kind of a passing on business. And as that's growing out, they're going to create a savings account for you. You're going to be able to win free vacations, of which Susan and many of you have already done. I would say probably half of this call has probably already got the points in their arsenal to win the trips coming up, which the trips for this year will be Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Punta Cana, Dominican Republic will be the North American vacation everybody can win. And then you'll also be able to win a trip to Bali. And Bali, you just go look it up if you're not familiar with it. It's kind of the Asian super island, kind of like the Cayman Islands over here or Tahiti. Bali's one of those type places, except besides the clear water and the snorkeling, you've got elephants and monkeys walking around too. About a $14,000 per person vacation, and you can win it for free, to include airplane tickets. Okay, I know that was a whole lot in a hurry, but I am open to share anything anybody else wants to know, or any questions, or we can just end it. Susan, I'll turn it back to you. Don't forget you got to unmute, Susan. And Barb, I made you co-host too, so if you need to unmute anybody or help anybody.
Awesome. I think that is probably it wrapping up. That brought up a good point. One of those last slides that you did, Todd, about the girl, and she, had lost her income because she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And really, I was thinking about it. I was helping with Kevin's business before I found this company and this product. So I was basically a stay-at-home mom in terms of an income. And I started this business, you guys, because I wanted to buy my son an organic mattress. That was the whole reason I wanted to sell enough skinny drops to get an organic mattress. And literally, Susan Frank held my hand, and you guys, I made $18,000 in month one. That's why my husband's sitting here right now. He's seen this business just blow up. So if you're sitting on the sidelines, if you've been praying for something for your health, if you sit here and think, heck yeah, I've been praying for, a side income, or you're like, I didn't even know I was looking for this. I didn't know I was looking. And I think there's some people on here. So get back with whoever invited you guys. Like Todd said, if you want to come in for top pay, the 30 pack, they actually just discounted that really significantly within our company as a promotion right now. And get back with whoever you invited. We'll get you trained on the boards, signed up, and you will literally can be posting in 30 minutes and earning income and changing your whole life if that's what you want. So thanks everybody for coming. And
Susan,
yes?
Susan, there's a couple of questions in the chat.
Perfect. Let's hear what they are. Sure, Deb. Was that Debbie?
Yes.
Perfect. You want to read them and funnel them for us?
Yes, let me find them here. I just saw it. One was asking what the delivery system is to get them into your cells.
Okay, so if they're sublingually absorbed, the delivery system is alcohol. That's the reason you'll see on the label 20% grain alcohol. That's what allows it to absorb through the cell membranes, and it is unbelievably effective. The B12, especially B12, will not digest. So really the only way to get B12 in the body is to go to the doctor and get the B12 shots. And if you don't want to give yourself a shot and you only go to the doctor once a month, it really only going to be effective for about a week, because B12 is a water soluble vitamin. You're going to pee it out. So our B12 under the tongue, I have I have hundreds of doctors in our business, but I have one in particular doctor down in Ormond Beach, Florida. And his name is Dr. Mike DiMiego. He's been tracking, the drops have only exploded the last 18 months since Partner Co bought them. But I've been around the skinny drops for a decade, and Dr. Mike had been tracking the blood work for me for a decade. If he gives somebody the methylated B12 shot, it will be slightly higher than our sublingual in their body for about 3 days. But the other 27 days of the month, ours is significantly higher with a fade down the whole 27 days. So it's really, really effective, and that's how they absorb.
Perfect. The next question is it safe for little kids, and will they lose weight? Her daughter has autism.
Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, 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 yes. We always have to give the reference that we cure nothing. You should always check with your doctor, but all prescription medication is given based upon age and weight. So same thing with our products, whether it be our superfood drinks or our skinny drops. If they're a young person, just dose down a little bit. But I'll give you my personal example. I have 4 children. We're an athletic family. All of my kids have played college sports. But my daughter in the 7th grade, 6th to 7th grade, she just did. Some of you may have had daughters that just hit puberty early. All she wanted was sugar. No matter what we did, I couldn't get her. This is somebody that grew up in a nutrition family, and she was about 40 pounds overweight her 7th grade year, and was not playing sports. And that was the year I got introduced to the skinny drops. And when I got introduced to skinny drops, I'm an extremist, so you may not want to do this to your kids, but I went into our house. I went to the pantry, and if it was not on the approved food list, I threw it in the garbage can before they got home from school that day. The only approved oil we were allowed to cook in is coconut oil. So I threw all of our oils out. I went and bought all this coconut oil, unpasteurized, and I started cooking eggs every morning with half of avocado. And the first 3 days, and made every kid. My 2 boys didn't eat it, but I couldn't make my daughter do it by herself. So we did it as a family. And so the first 3 days, my daughter rebelled, as any 12-year-old would. But about day 3, she began to get hungry. She began to eat her eggs and tell me how much she hated coconut oil. But she started taking the drops regularly. And about the 2nd week, it kicked in. And she began to like the eggs. She began to like the way we're eating. She lost 5 pounds in the first 10 days. But anyway, long story made short, she lost 40 pounds in 6 months, and her whole life changed. Like the trajectory of everything changed. Her 8th grade year, she got back into sports. She ended up going to 3 state championships in basketball in high school. And I look back, and I am certain that if the drops had not found us, I am not sure we could have done that naturally. I needed some things to get balanced in her body and get her body back on her side where she could see some success and actually go all in. So yeah, I've watched it in my own family, and I've watched that movie occur with a lot. For some of you individually that have daughters that age, I can send you that before and after picture individually. She will not let me show her before picture on a public presentation. She's laid the law down, but I do have it.
Perfect. Perfect. I think that's all the questions.
Okay. Well, it's late Eastern time, so we always keep these short. I think I'm doing another one with Susan Thursday night, but thanks for showing up tonight. And don't ask yourself, do you want to look better and feel better? Don't ask yourself that question. Just do it. Don't ask yourself if you want to eat right. Ask yourself about the end result. And then for sure, don't ask yourself if you want to do this business. Nobody has time to do this. Ask yourself where you are today financially, where you want to be, and do you have anything besides this to get you there? And if you're honest with yourself, most people don't. And Susan, that was my favorite thing about this whole presentation, because it's the first time I've heard your husband be vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
Be vulnerable. We're all the same. Listen, we're here on earth. We all have our vices that we have to overcome. Nobody is perfect. And 95% of this country right now, even the professionals, are living paycheck to paycheck. It is okay to have a home-based business and a side hustle to make you an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a week and build some residual income. And the last thing I'll tell you is the most important thing in your life is time freedom. Nobody has it anymore. We're all chasing a dollar all day long. I do work hard in this business, but I promise you, it is on my own pace. I have not been working today. I've been in Charleston where my son coaches college football, and I've been running on the track. I've been to the beach. I've been doing anything but work. And that's the reason I was hustling back to get on this Zoom tonight. So you get to live your life on your terms. It's your choice.
I love it. Thank you so much, Todd. You're so inspiring. And yeah, you guys, for anyone, we have this exact same meeting Thursday night, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, same link. So invite your friends, invite your spouses, whoever you think needs to hear this information, bring them, and let's get them on the drop train. And Laura, so many prayers and blessings, girl. That like warms my heart. It makes me so happy for you guys. Mwah. All right, bye guys. Good night. See
Happy
ya.
birthday, Barbara.
Happy birthday to our sweet girl Barb.
You know, and Susan, congratulations to your husbands for sobriety.
You guys, thank you.
That's a rough one. I know that one.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of him. And you guys, if my husband's looking at this business and he went in, he seriously is, like, there's something underneath that. There's something really, really deep and profound. What do you have to say about from a financial yeah, like, where's your mind at? And then everybody, you can jump off if you need to go.
No, I guess in a nutshell, and Todd touched on this earlier, but I own 2 garage door companies, and both of those to make this kind of money, the amount of capital I have to put up front, the amount of risk I'm taking, it's not even comparable to what my wife's bringing home. And like, you didn't leave the house this week, you know, almost. I mean, and she's making more money than I can fathom between two businesses. So it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And she's happy all the time,
True.
aren't I?
Yep.
Aren't I, Roger? Roger's like, stop them, put it down. And I'm like, but I just love it because everybody's so happy. This is awesome. Good night, you guys. Jump in with us. Come build businesses. We'll lock arms with you. You're
Thank you
lucky.
for your time.
Susan Frank's #1 in the world. Todd's #3. Like, you've got the best leadership. I mean, you walked into the unicorn. It is the unicorn. So if nothing else,
God.
get on the drops. Get on the drops. Talk to you later. Teresa, good to see you.
Thank
Love you,
y'all.
girls. Love
Bye,
you, Barb. Happy
everybody.
birthday, Barb.
Bye,
Thank you.
Susan. Bye,
Love
love
you.
y'all. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
See
Thank you.
ya.
Bye, Karen.
Jada, you look
Barbara.
so skinny.
Love you.
Bye. Bye, guys. See ya. Todd, send me the recording when you can, hon. Thank you for your help. Good night.
Hey, girl. Oh.